Dear students, welcome to our class on Drought, Climatology, Basics 2. So in this class, we are going to understand number 1, response of crops to drought, mitigation measures of agriculture drought, mitigation measures to the animals, early warning system for agriculture drought. So these are the, again I am telling, this is the basics. So only from the agriculture meteorological point of view, general climatology, drought climatology is a vast subject which is an unending. So innumerable lectures can be given. However, from UG, PG and Ph.D. students of agriculture meteorology are concerned, that components only I am going to cover in basics 2, and then we advance, even in the advances, we try to understand only from the agriculture meteorological point of view the drought climatology. Now here, important thing I will say, response of crops to drought. Please note that this bit will come. What is that? When drought occurs, the upper portion of the plant or trees maintain physiological activity to some extent. However, the lower leaves, the lower part of the crop, or you can say plant, gets dried up, starts getting dried up. When it is severe drought, good, so very unfortunate. So leaves would dry. Therefore, photosynthesis is reduced. Number 1. So once again, this bit will come. The upper leaves of the crop or tree, they perform physiological activity. Second thing is that when drought occurs, in addition to the main root, lateral roots, in addition to these two, some other roots will grow laterally. Why? Because to extract the moisture. So lateral roots develop. Second thing. The third one is that when drought occurs, please note very, very important point that it reduces, this is what I am telling, reduces the yields by anywhere between, hold your breath, from 75 to 90% yields are reduced. This is effect of the crops. You can see vast results, very, very devastating effect. So upper part of the leaves, tree or crop, perform physiologically, photosynthesis and everything. Lateral roots are triggered. In addition to that, one more thing, in place the fallen leaves of the lower parts of the trees or animals, so small leaves, will come. Leaves, small leaves only will germinate. They are very brittle. This is also physiologically an important point. So the response is like this. Upper part maintains to some extent, the physiological activities of both trees and the crop. Lateral roots develop. Very, very, very small leaves are produced. They are brittle in place of fallen leaves. Leaves insensitive. So that's what technically we call leaves insensitive. Then what we call it as hold your breath. That's what I told. 75 to 90% of the yield reduction is there. 75 to 90. You can see the fate of the farmer. You see, farmer spends all his earnings. Farmer spends all his time, family time, his time, whatnot, everything on the crop. So drought occurs, there is a huge loss of or huge reduction in the crop. So this is what. The second thing is mitigation measures of agriculture drought. So what are the mitigation? So we can mitigate the drought to some extent. First by soil, by adopting soil, because soil moisture, not soil water, soil moisture is very important for the crops, as I said. So certain soil conservation techniques. What are the soil conservation techniques? So addition of organic matter, number 1. Actually it is in the hands of the farmer, addition of organic matter. Second thing, whatever the rain occurs, more the organic matter, more the moisture holding capacity of the soil, and gives. Number 2, digging small trenches. So even if little rain comes, the water that is stored in the trenches would supply water to the plant. Another thing, across the field, going for some sort of bunds, whether it is soil bunds, whether it is vertibera, what we call it as, that is green bunds. They are useful in 2 ways. Not only in conserving the soil moisture, but also helpful for the fodder grass. So like that. Another, so certain going for some check dam, going for some sort of water, or if the slope is mild, you can go for some sort of contour bunding. Okay, in certain cases you go for graded bunding. Okay, graded bunding. So these are all as far as the soil is concerned, basic thing. Again, I will tell after half minute some more things. So as far as the plant is concerned, drought is affected. First thing is, okay, go for some sort of application of some chemicals which would reduce evapotranspiration. Second thing is, just alternate rows in the crop field may be, okay, removed, or alternate rows may be cut, so that available plant population would be 50% of the recommended population. At least from the 50% population, okay. One of the wonderful techniques that I saw in my roving seminars, during my roving seminars in India, is that in Anantapur, a farmer sowed his crop double the recommended plant population. Double. If the plant population is 2,22,000, he had gone for 4,44,000 population. So then I asked, sir, my dear respected farmer, so you have gone for very thick. He simply told one thing: if I am fortunate and our family and the village society is fortunate, we get excellent rain. No, in that rain, more plant population may give more yield. At least optimum plant population yield I may get. Okay. Now, when a drought occurs, I go on reducing the plant population from which is recommended by the university scientifically is 2,22,000. Now I reduce it to 1,11,000. Further reduce it to 55,000. Like that, I can reduce. So option is with me depending upon the rainfall. See, I am not saying it 100% scientific, but farmers do that much of thinking where the cost of seed is less for certain crops. Say for example, jowar, the seed cost is less. Okay, 10 kg per hectare, usual 10 to 12 kgs. But in case of red gram, okay, they also take some risk of putting some more cost on the seed. So with reference to plants, alternate rows, cutting up or removing, and then some sort of defoliation. They just intentionally remove alternate leaves in a plant like. So another thing is that when the crop is in the initial stages and the crop establishment is not there, they go for some sort of gap filling where it is possible. In groundnut, gap filling is not possible. It won't give any yields, or it won't. This is scientific form. So in certain crop, gap filling form. So soil, plant, and even some sort of relief measure from the government, local government or state government or central government, or a combination of these two, in addition to non-governmental organization supply. So what they do, they give fresh seed once again to sow. They also support farmer with pests and diseases which are inevitable. So to control the pest and disease, the biological bio stresses. So biotic stresses. So they may help some sort of relief to the animals in form of free supply of grass, dry grass, or you can say hay and everything. So these are the things that we are going to discuss. And the last one is the mitigation measures. So we can mitigate for the animals. Vaccination is the best one. Second thing is storage of grass in advance of the drought. So like this. And finally we try to do early warning system. Please note that in the early warning system, what is the early warning system? When it is inevitable, the disaster of drought has occurred. Inevitable. It is going to result in the famine. This bit will come. When this is the thing. Drought is a creeping process which may lead to dash. That is the famine. So occurring, when it is actually happening, what are the measures we take that comes under the early warning system? When it is imminent and when it is occurring, drought is imminent and drought is occurring, what are the measures that we take? So these things briefly we try to understand. So the mitigation measures, as I said, once again I would like to rebrushing. Drought is a recurring phenomenon. That's why going for deep ploughing, deep furrows, mulching and mixed cropping. Number one. Number two, soil moisture conservation techniques, and development of the watershed areas, drought tolerant varieties, inter-bunds treatments like key line, appropriate tillage, summer tillage, etc. Green manure treatment, ridge furrow configuration, integrated water management. Integrated means, so from different sources, okay, for the development of farming system, regularization of runoff from the fields, rehabilitation of wastelands, space-borne measurements of weather variables, continuous monitoring of the environmental variables, regional buffer stock of food, grain and fodder, deepening of the old wells, digging of new wells, and going for bore wells, more bore wells, timely availability of the credit to the farmers, implementation of crop and livestock insurance. Insurance is a risk transfer mechanism. Now, early warning and drought, that's what we are going to discuss after a minute or two. The reduction or waiver of loans, that is another thing. Provision of employment to the family members of the farmers. Providing the power at the subsidized rates or seed also. Providing alternate employment. Education and training on the drought. Precipitation when precipitation occurs, try to conserve the moisture as far as possible. So for that, education, okay, in participatory education programs, okay, public awareness through media. These are all the things that would help to mitigate the drought. Three things are there. If we can avoid the drought, wonderful, excellent. If it is inevitable, we go for mitigation. If these two are not possible, we adapt to it. Okay, this is the thing which is left at the end for the farm. We should get adapted to that drought situation and do the best for harvest of the best yields. Then, okay, drought relief measures for the animals. So that's what I told. First thing is implementing fodder movement from the forest areas. Okay, you get the dry fodder. Fodder conservation techniques. Okay, you conserve the fodder. Organization of cattle camps. Discourage distress sale of animals. Never allow or encourage the farmers to sell the most respected animals. Okay, the farmers have lot of respect, like their own children with the animals. So never allow distress sale. And vaccination, as I said. Community fodder cultivation, planting of perennial trees. Okay, perennial trees. So many perennial trees provide food for fodder to the animals. Perennial trees. Encourage backyard small poultry units so that during the droughts farmers get at least food. Ensure supply of chicks and feed free of cost. Soft clothes, arranging of the soft clothes. So these are the things that can mitigate the drought. Now finally, I would like to discuss with you the early warning system. As I said, see, India Meteorological, as far as India is concerned, India Meteorological Department provides excellent information on any weather abnormality or any extreme event. It includes drought also, even though the measures are implemented by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare in India. Drought, okay. India Meteorological Department provides excellent information. Now, early warning system. So they give wonderful early warning. How they give it? So early warning system, as I said, in addition to weather forecasting, in addition to impact-based weather forecasting, next step is the early warning system for anything, any calamity, any natural disasters. Early warning system. So drought is no exception. So early warning system for the drought comprise very interesting points. So this is what I would like to say. First thing they should do is research results of the past in that location should be compiled in the form and presented in the form of maps. That is the number one. Number two, phenotype characterization. At what physiological stage, whether it is vegetative phase, reproductive phase or maturity phase, drought affects to what extent, to what percentage. That is phenophase characterization, developing specific drought criteria for crop. All crops won't have same mitigation measures. The different crops need different mitigation. Plantation crops differs a lot from the agriculture crops. These two differ a lot from the animals. So, developing specific drought criteria for plants, plantation crop. agricultural crop, animals. Then specific effort should be made for identifying the current season drought. What is happening presently? They should be in the early warning system. We should be addressed at regional level, regular crop monitoring, animal monitoring, and plantation crops monitoring by the concerned authorities. Who are the concerned? Agronomist, a horticulturist, an extension specialist, a biotic stress and abiotic stress. That means, biotic stress, entomology and pathology. Abiotic, soil experts, soil science and agricultural chemistry experts. So they should monitor crop and animal wise drought warning advisories. Every week, twice, the India Meteorological Department gives Agromet advisories. In addition to that, in the Doordarshan, both in the morning as well in the evening, Agrometeorological advisories are given there. So advisories should be provided. In addition to that, steps to issue mid-season crop field forecast. So crop is inevitable to get damaged. What should be done? Crop, we can get some sort of the crop, at least what should be done? Scientists should say it. Finally, weather-based agro advisories give enormous relief to the farmers in reducing the cost of cultivation during the droughts. Anticipating more money is invested on the inputs. Anticipating more money is invested in digging of the borewells, new wells. So, under such situations, farmers go again into debit trap to just give them wonderful advantage of science, going for Agromet advisories, weather-based advisories, weather variables regularly, which is being given by in India, DAMOS, district Agromet units, above that, okay. 130 Agromet field units, AMFUs are there. From those sources, information should be provided to the farmers to protect their crops and animals. Thanking you very much for your very patient hearing.